it's been a while. You know, the last time you saw me, I was heading up north to the Caprivi Strip, and I got to start that adventure off with Kat. I'll catch you up real quickly. Kat and I flew up to Katima in the Caprivi Strip and stayed at this really cool lodge, kind of a tent, a chalet situation. Spent a few days cruising around on the Chobe River. We saw herds of buffalo, zebra, tons of birds, just have had a really great time. We had the opportunity to go through Botswana and into Zimbabwe to go visit Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls is absolutely beautiful, completely amazing adventure, and I'll be making a proper video about that here shortly. On our way back to the Caprivi, Kat finally got to see the elephants she'd been looking for. They stopped traffic as they crossed the road on the way to have a drink at the river. It was a super cool experience and one that won't quickly be forgotten. Then Kat flew back to Windhoek and I started filming again. I spent the next couple of weeks running around the Caprivi Strip with Philip, hanging out really close to buffaloes and elephants and experiencing a whole new level of nature. Then I ran back to Botswana for a few days with Philip and kind of got stuck. Let's just say I haven't spent that much time in a police station ever. But I do have to hand it to the Botswana police force because they were absolutely amazing in a really difficult situation and totally helped us get through it. While Philip and I were stuck in Botswana, we did stay in a great lodge right on the Zambezi River. Had great meals and did manage to have a completely bang-up time. I bet if I were to ask him what was on his mind, who should actually be staying in this room with him, it wouldn't be me.
Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe a cat in here. We spent the rest of our time at a camp on the Kwando River called Ivory Camp. It's a really great place. Had hippos in front of my chalet once I was upgraded to hippo status, and spent a lot of time running around the Mashi Conservancy and on the Kwando River. One crazy thing that happened during that time was that we had a boat motor malfunction with a ton of hippos around us.
Something's wrong there. Yeah. Like that drive shaft or something is... It's just when the river gets small and narrow and there's a lot of hippos that we may get problems with them. Yeah. When it's wide like this, we just stay on the sides. It's not a big issue. Always just have to keep an eye out. Still no elephant activity. I think we rather want to get on land than spend the night out here, so.
That has impressed itself on my brain forever. I'll probably have to make a proper video of that one as well. Now, if that wasn't enough for my first 3 weeks out in the wilds of Africa, I'll just say that it was only beginning. I flew out of Katima Mulilo in the Caprivi Strip back to Windhoek to head off to Mozambique with Sean and my buddy Kobus. 10 minutes after I was picked up, we were in a pretty decent accident. Tore the front wheel off of the cruiser. Everybody is okay. Everybody was sore, disappointed, and slightly confused, but it effectively ended our journey before we even began. So we flew to Mozambique instead, landed in a town called Tete. Tete's an interesting place and a bit rough. I'll just leave it at that for now. Fortunately, our good friend owns the only nice place in town called the Cafe del Rio. So we spent a good night there, hanging out, me, Sean, Kobus. You know, let's meet Kobus real quick.
Hi people. Jesus, Adam, you can make fire with this glasses.
We'll get back to him in a minute. Then it was on to the next leg of our journey. Off to Crocodile Camp, about 4 hours from Tete by truck, with a stop off in a village market to buy some veggies and supplies, then an hour and a half boat ride across Lake Kahorabasa. Croc Camp's a really cool place. It's right on a lake the size of an ocean with lots of crocodiles everywhere, and I mean lots of them, and big ones. Hippos too. I stayed here for a bit and then took a hell-raising morning boat ride back across this lake. Now I will tell you, I've been prepared mentally and physically for just about everything that has been thrown at me while I've been in Africa, except for this boat ride. After the boat ride, it was another forever truck ride into the middle of nowhere. And the middle of nowhere has taken on a new meaning for me. Let's take a peek at some of what that means.
my new house for the next little while behind me here. Hardis. We'll meet him later, but he's staying over here.
So yes, this is Hardis that I'm standing in the bathroom with. Hey Hardis,
Yes, sir.
is it working?
I'm a plumber. You know what I've learned in Africa? You know, if you read the old books, you get that my wanderings through Africa, right? So, what I've learned in my wanderings through Africa is that first of all, the human body is a lot tougher than what you think. You know, you can endure a lot of things. But secondly, you cannot fix something that. So that's where I'm basically standing now.
I stayed in this camp for a week and then it was back to Croc camp to gear up and head back to Tet. While I was gone in that fly camp, my buddy Cobus was bitten by a cobra. He had to be rushed across the lake in the middle of the night, emergency situation, flown out of Mozambique back to South Africa to seek medical attention. He's okay and he's back home, but it was certainly an intense and dangerous, crazy time. Like I said, we were headed back to Tet to get ready for the next safari. We did have a few down days there that were really needed. Spent a few of those nights at the Cafe Del Rio having a good time. And one of those nights, we found ourselves at this guy's house named Ian, playing poker all night and being invited out on his boat the following day to go fish for tigerfish on the Great Zambezi River. Totally awesome adventure. But then the hits keep rolling. I came down with a case of malaria. Now, I probably caught that on our first night through Tet. Fortunately, we were at the home of some friends and I was well taken care of and comfortable. And then we had to head back out to the camp where I'm at currently. This camp is really cool, but needless to say, this past week in Mozambique has been a bit rough on me. I'm feeling better now, but not completely 100% quite yet. I've got one more run up to the Caprivi strip once I leave Mozambique, which is probably where I'll be at when you're seeing this. Then it's back to Windhoek and out to Auwis for one last project before I head home. I'll certainly share a few of these stories in greater detail when I have the chance, and I look forward to seeing everybody when I get home. As always, cheers from Africa.